Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Serrano. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at 10 reasons why I think that the Google Pixel 6 is pretty special in 2021. And this is a brand new device made by Google. But if it's your very first time to the channel, I truly appreciate you for coming through. But if you're already a part of the crew, salute.
It was a nightmare.
So we're going to be taking a look at the 10 reasons why this device is special, and it has a lot of things to do with the way Google just basically approached it when it came to this device. And the first thing we should be looking at is the Tensor chip inside of this device. It has an AI learning processing. It also does have some really special intricate details when it comes to machine learning and things like that. So the camera software will be, more so very high end. It's going to have some really good cameras, 4K 60. Also, we do have 1080 30 and 1080 60, 30 frames on 4K as well, ultra high resolution. When you're using for the cameras, you can get up to 7 times zoom on this camera on video and things of that nature. But the Tensor chip is going to be really nice because if you want to basically do anything with the device, it's going to be really quick. It's about 80% smarter than the other Pixels devices and about 20% more increase when it comes to the machine learning and stuff like that. So it's going to be faster and smarter. So that's the first reason why I think this device is pretty special. Now, the second reason has to do with the cameras. And one of the things I like about the cameras is that they're going to have this really nice features and really cool features on here. So we do have 2 times, which is kind of like a telephoto. So if you're looking at a subject and let's just say you're looking at the subject from, just looking at it right here, you do 1 times. You also get this telephoto zoom right here, which gets you some more detail. So I really like that part when you can zoom in on an object. You also can get the wide angle going on, and that has those 3 options. So you're gonna get some intricate shots when you're outdoors, and you also will get the portrait mode, which is really cool. It's gonna be very intricate when it comes to detail. It's gonna blur out the sides and the background. It's gonna have that machine learning, but pretty much it's like a point and shoot camera. We also do have this mode called pan, action pan, and long exposure. The action pan is when some objects are moving, it'll just focus in on the object and kind of blur out the background, but make it look like the background was moving. So the cameras are really good. 4K 60, like I said before, 4K 30, 1080 60, 1080 30. Really good portrait on the rear and front. So it's going to be really solid when it comes to that. And we also do have auto night sight mode. So if you're taking shots at night with this device, it's going to be really tuned in for nighttime photography as well. So that's another thing that's really cool about the cameras on this thing. And now let's just jump into the third reason, and it has to do with the display that we're getting on this device. It's a 6.4 Full HD Plus display, but pretty much everything you do is gonna just fly across the screen. Everything just looks extremely quick when you're using the screen and just going across it. 84% for the screen to body ratio. It's going to be IP68, but it's also going to be 403 pixels per inch on this thing. Very high density display with the punch hole right down the center of it. So, pretty much all of the scrolling and social media is going to be really clean. It's just going to be super, super smooth. And, it's just going to be a really good device to look at. Dual speakers on here. We'll get into those in just a second, but just a really beautiful 1080 by 2340, 90 hertz refresh rate. So if you go into settings, you can tune the display to go back to 60 or 90, depending on when you want to save battery or something. If you're not using the display too much, then you can always turn the display down to 60, and then it will save battery. So I think that's pretty cool as well. You also do have this option called increased touch sensitivity for the display, but the display is really bright. It's an AMOLED display and it just looks really good on here. So the other thing is that the glass on here on the front is going to be Gorilla Glass 6, but on the back it's going to be Victus. So whereas the Pro, you get Victus on the front and back, this one just gets 6 on the front, 7 on the back. So really strong display as well, and beautiful display to look at. Now the next thing I'm going to talk about is the software. We do have Android 12, which does have a big change from the Android 11. It's got these big, huge, circular, notifications, which kind of take an extra step just to scroll down and look at them. But overall, it's going to be a little bit more tailored. You're going to have control of your camera and your mic. You can turn that off on. Screencast is on board. Live caption, extra dim, just in case you want to use it at the nighttime. Makes it a little bit easier to look at. But just a lot of Android 12 features, one-handed mode as well. So just a really solid software, and we do get the latest updates. We also do get like a lot of updates on this thing, so it's going to be really good for a long time to come. The next thing we're going to talk about is the price. This device is about $599, $600 and some change, depending on where you get it, right? But the price of this is going to be really good. $626 in the US for the 8 gig America model, 128 gigabytes, and then you can get the 8 gigabyte 256 or the 8 gigabyte 128, but this is the 8 gigabyte 128, and the price is really good for this device. I mean, it stacks up well against other phones that has the Tensor chip, like I said, mentioned. Nice solid weight on here. We also do have that camera bar along back, which is going to basically house the 50 megapixel on the back of it, and it's going to just be really solid for taking photos and stuff like that. So I know that the camera lens is a little bit dirty, so let me just wipe that off again. But like I said, the price is going to be extremely good, and for this type of phone to have that price, it's kind of forcing other phones to compete with this price, because this is such a really good device. Next thing we're going to talk about is battery life on here, and I have been getting some really good battery life with this thing. So I definitely am enjoying the battery life that we are getting. So if I go to screenshots, I did take some screenshots of my battery performance, and I did get a lot of screen usage on here. So it did say that I had, let me see, 5 hours screen on time with 30% left. And today I did charge it up again, but I didn't get a full cycle. But most of the time I'm getting a full day of use and a half, 1 day and a half of use, and I'm actually getting like 7
It was a nightmare.
7.5 hours screen on time, sometimes 6.5, depending on what I'm doing. Right, and just a really solid overall battery on here. You won't really get battery anxiety because you're going to be able to get through the whole day and stuff like that. So the next thing I want to talk about, which is the 7th thing, is the speakers on this guy. It's got some dual speakers, so when you're listening to content,
a metal card.
It sounds really good. Let me just turn this down, but it sounds really good. Whatever you're doing is gonna sound good.
Black Jesus were just a few of the nicknames bestowed upon Michael Jordan, and for good reason. Whenever he was on the court, he'd be humiliating everybody, even off the court.
So you're gonna get really good dual speakers on this, and the sound quality is gonna be excellent. Next thing is the size. I was basically able to use this with one hand without having to, it was really easy to get to everything that I wanted to get to with this device. Just that one-handed operation was really quick on this thing. So like I said, it's going to be really snappy. It's going to have a really good feel to it. Just everything, it has like some weight to it, which I really do like. But it's got that really nice size in the hand. I could pretty much clutch it like this. It's also got the bar on the back, which you can rest your hand on and kind of just anchor it so you don't make it drop when you're picking it up. And another person mentioned when you put it on the table, it's kind of at an angle, so it's easier to pick up when you want to grab it. And so most of the time you would just leave it like that, and it's kind of at a slanted angle, which is pretty cool because you don't have to struggle to pick it up. It's just really easy to pick up. Then you could touch the fingerprint, and the fingerprint works pretty much every single time for me. I didn't really experience any issues touching this thing. As long as my finger was flat, it was able to work every single time, as you can see. So, you know, I'm not sure, you know, I'll even do it while it's down. Let's do it at this angle. So I'm doing it in all different types of angles, and it works perfectly fine for the fingerprint sensor. Now the next thing I like,
It was a nightmare.
it's just the overall features on here. Google Pay, you do get NFC on board. You do get, you know, your screen recorder. You do get a ton of other options on here that most other phones don't get. Like it's gonna tell you that it has the translate option. It also has the magic eraser in the camera. It's also got, you know, a ton of other features that I'm going to try to get into in another video, so make sure you guys stay locked in for that and subscribe and get notified. But just a lot of cool features like that one-handed mode. But Android 12 is going to be on here. You're going to get a lot of future updates, like I mentioned, for the number 4th reason. But yeah, it's just going to be really solid overall. You could touch Google Assistant. What's the weather right now? Then you can unblock the microphone when you're ready to use it. What's the weather going to be like tomorrow? You can see how quick that is. What about the next day? So it's pretty intuitive. It's going to do pretty much like answer you right away with no issues whatsoever. You could even do like, you know, use the microphone to text. What's going on right now? You know what I'm saying? So it's going to give you a lot of information at your fingertips. It's going to be really quick because that Tensor chip does have a fast processing and performance and everything like that. Last thing I want to talk about is the performance of the Tensor chip. So as I did mention, the speakers sound really good, but also the performance on the Tensor chip is going to be really good. It's going to be comparable to like the 888 or the 855 or the 8 series that was released like in the years before this one. So overall, you're going to be able to game smoothly. You're going to be able to play pretty much any game on this device if you are looking for a phone that can game and run high graphic intensive games and stuff like that. But overall, the experience will be nice. It does get a little bit warm when you charge it though, so I just kind of want to let you guys know that it will get a little bit warm from time to time. So it definitely performs really well. It does have a nice little feel in the hand and stuff like that. So So like I said, definitely nice performance on this thing. Really smooth when you're pretty much gaming on here. Everything's just gonna run nice on that Tensor chip. Extreme graphics, extreme frame rate for the graphics.
Reloading. Target down. Cover me.
Killing spree for the blue team!
So this is my 10 reasons why the Google Pixel 6 is clearly a special phone in 2021. It's a lot different, has a nice aesthetic and design, form factor, weight, overall build. You get wireless charging on here, so you can, you know, put it on the wireless charger. You can get wireless charger. You could also get reverse wireless charging and, you know, charge other devices as well. So I definitely think that's pretty cool. But Let me know what you guys think about the Google Pixel 6 and your top 10 reasons that it's a special device in 2021. But I'm going to get right back with you. I'm going to show up in the comment section, answer all your questions as well. But let me know down below what your thoughts are, and I'll check you guys later. I'll get right back with you. Later, peace.